Welcome back to the island of Maui, scene of the deadliest wildfire in modern American history. Fires that started seemingly without warning less than a week ago.
Maui, the beloved island in Hawaii, is burning down in flames at this very moment, and many celebrities are speaking about the fires and asking for support. Some are even showing up for volunteer work.
We were inside, what would we see?
You would see people lined up, cots right next to each other. You would see people with all of their worldly possessions.
While this seems like a heartwarming gesture at first, a deeper look into these celebrities' interest in Maui has revealed something very disturbing. There are accusations that Hollywood actors such as Will Smith and Oprah are exploiting the poor people in Maui by buying acres upon acres of land for cheap.
Some on social media are calling the buy excessive because the millionaire already owns more than 100 acres in upcountry in Hana before buying 870 more acres in Kula.
As the fires burn Maui down, more accusations about Hollywood's exploitation of the precious land are coming to light, and it's hard not to see how the elites are profiting off of these horrible fires.
Only John won't believe it. Yes, he will. Yeah, he will, yeah.
One of the biggest names in this horrifying scandal is none other than the problematic couple, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. The two paid $13 million for 7 acres of coveted beachfront property on the north shore of Kauai. Initially, they tried to frame it as their love for the ocean and Hawaii, but before long, they sold the house for $20 million. Why would they want to part with such a dreamy Hawaii estate? The answer is obvious. In no time at all, they were able to make an extra $6 million off on the property. As the couple sold their house years ago, their involvement in this alleged sinister scheme couldn't be discovered until now. But it's clear now, they are also part of a big Hollywood scam to buy out all the local Hawaiian population and turn Hawaii into their own business hub, even though the Hollywood elites haven't directly displaced the natives. But the fact that they buy all their land ends up displacing them and taking away their homes. As this person pointed out, many native Hawaiians are being forced to sell their aina kupuna due to outrageous property taxes that continue to increase due to real estate speculation and resort development. Maui used to be the travel destination spot for people all over the world. The picturesque island is a piece of heaven with its glorious nature and wildlife. The beaches are therapeutic and the weather is always amazing. As Maui became more and more known, Hollywood celebrities flocked to the island as tourists. But things have changed now more than ever. Now, these greedy celebrities have started to see Maui as just a business plan. Hollywood celebrities buy land in land quantities on the island due to the fact that it's underdeveloped and they can easily exploit the needy locals. When the prices for the land rise significantly, they then sell this land for much higher prices. This way, the local people become homeless in their own homes. The most shocking and horrifying example of this exploitation is none other than the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. The billionaire and his wife have bought almost 1,700 acres of land in Hawaii so far, with no plans of stopping anytime soon. The couple's representative spoke about their purchases and said, Mark and Priscilla continue to make their home at Ko'olau Ranch. They have worked closely with a number of community partners to operate a working ranch, promote conservation, produce sustainable agriculture, and protect wildlife, and look forward to expanding their efforts to include this additional property. No matter how positive they try to make it sound for the people, buying hundreds of acres of land will only hurt the local Hawaiians. A law professor in the University of Hawaii explained this in an interview. This is the face of neo-colonialism. Even though a forced sale may not physically displace people, it's the last nail in the coffin of separating us from the land. For us as Native Hawaiians, the land is an ancestor. It's a grandparent. You just don't sell your grandmother. Mark Zuckerberg isn't the only billionaire with an interest in Hawaiian land. Jeff Bezos owns a secluded 4,500 square feet mega mansion on the island of Maui. Shockingly, his property remained unharmed amidst the fires, as this person pointed out. Funny how Oprah, Will Smith, Julia Roberts, Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos' mansions and property weren't touched by the fire. Not a blade of grass singed. That's very strange. Locals are devastated by the fires, and more so by the fact that no help was extended to them during this tough time.
Phones didn't work from 5 in the morning. The fire was not 10 o'clock when I went to work. The fire was still there. There was no water. Tell me if that's coincidence. No water, no warning.
What's even more heartbreaking is that these locals are in no position to rebuild their lives after this setback. Only the elite will have the resources to acquire even more land and completely take over. Some people have even shared aerial videos of Lahaina that claim that the trajectory of the fire, the areas it burned down, and the ones it spared seemed suspicious.
Jeff Bezos, you got what you wanted. Oprah, you got what you wanted.
People are sharing their opinion on the fire being rather convenient for the rich, as one said. Maui, a fire of convenience. If celebrities or politicians in Hawaii gave $10 million each, they would still save. Their movement to eminent domain the land was published months ahead of fire. Now, no lawsuits to fight, no native relocation. The people are dead. They saved $1. Right after the fire took away everything from the locals, they started to receive worrying emails from realtors as one resident shared how an offer came from an individual identifying himself as part of a small group of real estate investors who buy homes in and around Lahaina. We've identified your home at 6 Kilinahe Street as one that we'd potentially like to invest in. The email, which addressed Goldine by name, stated, "It's always a good idea to see what your home might be currently worth. We've done an evaluation on your home and you may be eligible for a cash offer." While the economy collapsed completely after the pandemic, the housing market surprisingly boomed. This resulted in all these celebrities with money flocking to places like Maui. Now, these celebs are selling their land for much higher prices and driving out the locals. This piece of heaven is burning and leaving thousands of people homeless in its wake. So many even lost their lives.
How, as a parent, are you ever prepared to tell your children that their friend didn't make it?
People are worried that the elites will benefit from these destructive fires as well, and it will only be the locals who suffer. One person wrote, "If the state doesn't help home and business owners rebuild, the only people able to buy up and restore this land will be large land developers and government entities." Modern-day colonization. Another pointed out similar speculations on the internet. There have been some speculations that it was arson on Maui so that the elites could buy up the land from the people who just lost everything. These speculations are fueled further by the fact that all these mansions owned by the Hollywood elites are safe while the poor people have lost everything. One person wrote, "Call me a conspiracy theorist or crazy, but I'm telling you someone burned the natives out of their homes on Maui. Not one of the multi-million-dollar mansions of Oprah, Jeff Bezos, Will Smith, Lady Gaga, and Bill Gates, amongst others, was even touched by the fire." Others are noting how the Hollywood stars are asking people to donate money for the sake of point scoring on the internet. If they really cared about the people of Maui, they would have donated themselves. As this person mentioned, Maui residents do need help. But to hear this woman who is buying up all this land in Maui and surprisingly didn't have any damage along with all the other Hollywood stars, something just doesn't seem right. There are no coincidences. As celebrities ask people to donate money for Maui, it's hard not to notice the hypocrisy. If their insensitivity wasn't noticeable enough, a single post by singer Stevie Nicks, who has lived in Hawaii for decades, proves how these Hollywood elites don't care about the island at all. To make the situation worse, my young niece, her husband, and their little boy had just arrived for a very needed vacation before she started up her school year, on her way to becoming a psychologist, for 10 days. They had 1.5 days of fun, and then the fire started. This left the people shocked over the lack of empathy and insensitivity. Some even say that the only way left now is to fight back to the elites. One person wrote, "The native residents of Maui need to immediately run out the land grabbing elites. Bezos, Oprah, Will Smith, Gates, Zuckerberg, and more. Take over their properties and rebuild your homes there. Reverse the tide." That's it for today, folks. Until next time. Goodbye.